Get the kettle on, grab a brew, because you're listening to Coffee and Dark Reads.
Hi guys, and welcome to Coffee and Dark Reads. My name is Paul Acton, and I'm going to be reading to you today. If you follow me on social media, you will know that last year I took part in a pretty unique experiment. I have spoken about it on here before, which was basically 31 authors and all writing the same story together. It was threaded together by the narrator, which was also the night manager. And we're doing it again this year. Slightly different storyline premise to this last year, obviously. So what I've decided to do, as this is free, it's free wherever you get your ebooks. You can either go download it, or you can keep listening and download it as well, and read ahead, not read ahead. It'll have all the details for all the other authors if you want to pick up on them. I will talk more each week a little bit about the process, and I'm just for the next few weeks we're going to have some fun and have a story time. So we're going to start off. I do not know why. It does not matter because the book is downloaded already onto the Kindle. So I'll start off with the note readers. As Overlook contains a worldwide cast of authors, some acts will be presented in normalised English, whereas others shall retain their proper English, which is basically the difference between us in the UK and the Americans, because if you were trying to get a set of sort of grammar and spellings that worked for both, you would fail miserably. Welcome to 31 Overlook Hotel. The premise of this novel is unique. It is written by 31 different authors from around the world, each penning a chapter or two. Our authors' names will be present with the chapter they have written. We hope you will discover a talent you didn't know about before now. There are also bios for each of the authors at the end of the novel. Welcome to the Overlook Hotel. It is my goal to ensure that all possible needs are met for our esteemed patrons. When visiting the hotel, please exercise care in what areas of the building you wander into without permission. We cannot be held responsible for your safety. We do hope you enjoy your stay. Sincerely, the night manager, Algrove, Earth. And this is the invitation that each of the characters you'll meet receives. Dear honoured guest, enclosed you'll find an exclusive invitation to the 31 Overlook Hotel Masquerade Ball. Due to the nature of the ultimate outcome of these festivities, the hotel has requested the explicit details of the event, what will culminate afterwards will not be revealed until midnight at the ball. We promise to delight and not change. Please understand that if you are holding this invitation, then you are among a very small group of selected very important individuals for attendance. We do not expect an RSVP. Please arrive with your invitation and present it at the front desk during check-in. If you have not spent time at our resort prior, please note that we do have tailored menus available for our guests with refined and specialised tastes. This can be addressed upon arrival. As always, I am here to serve, sincerely, the night manager. So, before I just go on, for each chapter you get an interlude from the night manager, and that sets up for that next story and links all the stories together. So it was quite interesting because these were written as we wrote our stories, as we each created our own little bits. Candice, the lady that organised all this and put it all together, is hard work first. She would then add in as we put in our piece, she would add in then our individual interludes, and we would add in like descriptions and things like that. So we didn't have to actually repeat some of that in the stories themselves, which is quite interesting for us to be able to do it. So Interlude 1, The Night Manager, Hargrove. Welcome to 31 Overlook Hotel. I see you have a private invitation. The invite slips from her hand into mine. I carefully open the envelope to view her invitation details. A vampire. She'll need a private room, one that is soundproof, perhaps even a large porcelain to avoid intimacy. I don't know. How long do you intend on being our guest? I asked, slipping the invitation into the strong box beneath the desk. She stares at me for a moment as I push the cat-eyed styles of black orange burns in my glasses on my nose. Hard to say, I guess until all this clears out. Her eyes are brilliant green, sparkling with the flecks of leftovers from her community. I hand her my card, offering a slight smile. No one mans the front desk during daylight hours, which I'm sure won't inconvenience you. A specialty menu is available to all guests upon request. The spa area is open from 6 in the evening until 3 in the morning. However, I do recommend an appointment. Once the other guests arrive, we will have reached full capacity. Will you please sign the guest book while I retrieve your room key? I turn the book towards our guest, handing her a fountain pen. Hardly anyone uses these pens any longer, such a shame. They write so beautifully. She turns the book towards me, returning a smile as the key is placed in her hand. Room number 222, an interior room with limited windows. Buzzer is pressed for the bellboy, and she follows behind Teddy. She turns and blows me a kiss. Victor Alexander will certainly be pleased when I alert him of the arrival of Ruby McGittigan. My thoughts turn to Teddy as he pulls the gate shut on the elevator. I do hope she doesn't eat him. I'm rather fond of the boy for reasons I can't yet reveal. Then we have Act 1, which is The Primordial Hunter, and this is by Hargrove. So this is one of her characters that she, in her books, I called her Candy, so her pen name is Hargrove. She's the one that writes through this. Okay, so of course I appreciate the courtesy call. This wouldn't be possible without you. We do our best to see our guests' experience as exactly what they need. Do not hesitate to call my direct line if any detail needs addressed. Good night, Victor. The dial tone goes dead before anything can be said to the night manager regarding what she personally arranged. So, one of them has arrived. They are, if anything, punctual. I toss the information from the note sent by the night manager into the fire, watching the fire engulf into the fireplace, watching the fire engulf the letter from the front desk. The night manager has been a dear friend for years, longer than I can count. A personal invitation arrives at my residence whenever anyone belonging to the Primordials is sent an invitation by courier, courtesy of the night manager. She's been instrumental in aiding me on this long, tiresome quest. Next to the bed is a complimentary list of available blood types for the hotel guests, as well as what they have on ice should nothing strike my fancy. As a night manager, no one can touch the woman at the front desk. She's discreet, intelligent, sexy, and formidable. You can't ask for too much more. The fire is warm on this chilly autumn night. A welcome reprieve from hunting in the elements. I pick up Ruby McGittigan's file from my briefcase and walk to the chair by the fireplace and sit down. Verified AOS site. age approximately 2,500 years. Last seen 4 years ago in Lyon, where you were involved in an illicit raid at one of the catacombs to say there was to be obstacle species. How nice. I closed the file before dropping it on the floor. It's always always the same with these AOSI, the original vampires, the children of new sleeping mounds. They feed once a year, generally on the blood of those they created. It wasn't until we learned we stood a chance against them, until I formulated the perfect weapon, that we traditionally stood a chance of surviving. Humans don't know they exist. Well, that is, until they're too late. For the longest time, we didn't know they existed either. That's the beauty of being one of the primordials, one of the first and oldest vampires. You have a beating heart. The blood is warm as it courses through your veins. You appear impeccably human. The grandfather clock chimes 7 times. I stand and walk to the armoire and choose a nice black suit for the evening. It's time to endear myself to my prey. A black Armani designed to impress. By the time I arrive at the grand ballroom, the location of the hotel bar, Ruby is already seated at the bar, carefully sipping a true Bloody Mary, typo by the centre. Your best bourbon and Coke on the side, I says to the bartender, sitting a few chairs away from where Ruby is seated. Catching prey is a game. It could be a deadly one if I play my cards well. I catch her glancing at me from the corner of my eye. All alone so close to the holidays, what a pity. I'm sorry. You know, Halloween. I just assumed you were here for the masquerade ball. I'm not much of a dancer. This is a business trip for me, I reply, smiling back at her. Oh no, Chloe. With those broad shoulders and good looks, you should know how to dance. It's nearly a lost art. Just might impress the ladies. You're on a Patreon, right now you can see my username.twitter. Thing. So what's the point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes? I know it's copying that age, but it's nothing more here today, so I put that up. I deliberately didn't put icing, so it doesn't matter. Some people have 2 left feet. I'm one of those, I offer with a laugh, attempting to appear nervous. The more she believes me to be an easy target, the less Ruby will suspect I'm here to end her life. Ruby selects a seat closer to mine, such predictable behaviour. So what do you do for a living? You mentioned you were here on business. It's Victor. Ruby, she replies, moving to the chair next to mine, offering me her hand. This is the thing now, because I'm doing this with the Patreon video. They're going to see me scratching my nose, they're going to see me flapping my hair, speaking of my hair, lovely and glossy and shiny. And the secret to having lovely, glossy, shiny hair is to go see to your horse, and when you're putting fly spray on yourself, and I don't know whether it's the neem oil or the carrot seed oil that's making my hair all lovely and shiny, but it's working. It's also growing quite a bit as well. So introduce each other. The danger of her killing me only comes if she learns my intent. Being that it's not New Year's, the only time of the year that primordial feeds on other vampires to sustain themselves for the next 365 days, I'm relatively safe for now at least. She is so impeccably warm. The blood courses through her body. By now she knows exactly what I am, having touched me. Ruby won't let on. She won't say a word. She'll play this like a cat, like the cat and mouse game they enjoy so greatly. That irresistible beat of her heart is so impeccably human, so steady and rhythmic, so desperately enticing, as a draw, a lingering longing caused by that near human feeling Ruby possesses. It's been so very long since I've shared that intimacy with warm passion, warmth and passion. What do you do, Victor, as a profession, I mean? I sell antiquities. She leans forward, resting her chin on her hand. That sounds incredibly interesting. You must see all kinds of unusual items. Some make you question humanity. Do you have a storefront or an online shop? Ruby queries, pausing to signal the bartender for another Bloody Mary. This time, as he sits to drink in front of her, a distinctive scent of type A positive fills the air. It has a rustic yet floral bouquet to it. It's one of the more unusual traits of this hotel. It caters to a wide variety of clientele, but no one is athletic. A scent lingering in her tall glass is heady, thick with woodland fragrance. Humans are similar to flowers. Every mortal on the planet has a signature scent, an essence lingering in their blood that makes it simply irresistible. The only way it can be explained is that it's similar to pheromones, allowing for an attraction to draw the vampire from across the room. At times, that enticement is irresistible. Little doubt exists that Ruby has already entered into a blissful state over the myriad of bouquets lingering within them. Hunting creatures such as her expend a large amount of energy. That in turn leads to feeding more frequently. An essence can linger within the vampire sometimes for days after a feeding. Given the fact I have utilised multiple blood slaves in the last week and a half, it's a wonder Ruby isn't drunk by now. No, I don't have a storefront or an online store. My clientele is unique, which requires a certain amount of discretion. Those with wealth can afford to collect the oddities of the world. They appreciate the anonymity that only I can provide them. Her eyes retain part of her humanity, that longing, faraway look mortals often have when they're dreaming or remembering events long past. For Ruby, that could be a myriad of memories, given the length of the life she has lived thus far. Still, it does stir my curiosity. Due to the nature of my life, the task of that belongs to me alone. There is never a time to learn what the AOSI know. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, I should be honest. AOSI. It's like AOS. I don't know. An immense amount of knowledge lingers beneath the dangerous surface that is presented in such a calm, beautiful exterior to the rest of the world. If only her death was not certain. What's the most unusual item you've obtained from one of your clients? Her eyes close slowly, attempting to use her powers of mesmer against me, believing she is far superior to me. Her perfume is a mixture of heliotrope, rose and cedar. It's subtle yet drawing. How did the mummy remains would rest at the top of the list of strangely odd requests? Really? Why in the world would someone want to collect that? Mystical qualities, I assume. It's better not to ask what people want items for in their lives. Did you know that people once added powdered mummy remains to elixirs in the Victorian era because they believed they had curative properties? I do feel that wasn't the reason behind your client's request. That's dreadful, eating the dead. Her comment stirs the will to laugh, but it's suppressed. What does Ruby believe she does the moment she kills someone and drinks their blood? It's gaining her sustenance from the corpse. One of the many reasons I prefer blood slaves to ending a life. There's a marked difference between blood. I don't reveal those details, Ruby. It will be a violation of trust, something I don't like, something like that spreads like wildfire in circles I travel. Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon floats on the air as we continue to chat, becoming comfortable with one another. Ruby believes she has lured me into her web of deceit. It's a fallacy I must allow her to embrace by continuing this incredibly dull and mundane conversation. What's your line of work? I ask, motioning towards the bartender to bring us another round. I work in real estate, mostly high-end seekers of little getaways in the country, sometimes in Europe, where no one knows who they are. Anonymity is important. I can understand why it would be so important, very important to keep that sort of client privilege. Another Frank Sinatra song lingers in the background of the bar. Double checking it's still recording because it's trying to get comfort as I move on, so I'm leaning over onto this side. Which obviously, if you're just listening to this, you're not seeing me slumping over to the side. But if you are, I'm just going to go back around this way. I'm sat at the end of the settee, so the thing is to lean on that, opposite way around. If it'd been there, it's more space there. But yeah. Sorry. That was so rude. And I would normally cut it out. But because I'm doing the videos, I can't. So I have to say sorry and apologise and move on. Where was I again? Yeah. So another Frank Sinatra song lingers in the background of the bar, just loud enough to be heard. The song takes me back to days long ago. It's a nearly haunting memory. So many years are a blur to me with the passing of time, and yet similarly as clear as yesterday. A song with melody could pull me back to another time without hesitation. We should go somewhere a little more private, Ruby whispers, flipping her hands in the middle of my thigh. Her heart rate is elevated, nearly a bass drum beating in my ear. Her bloodlust is rising quickly, something I had not anticipated. The lights shimmer against her dark burgundy hair. On any other woman it would look so artificial, but her perfect near porcelain complexion only complements it. You aren't married? Beautiful woman like you, I find that amazing. I've never had the desire. That probably sounds strange. The world can be very complicated when you're tied to another person for centuries. Her comment surprises me, though Ruby probably doesn't think too much of it. She lifts my room key from the pocket of my suit coat before kissing me. A kiss filled with contagious passion that's nearly too much for you to resist. Ruby slips off the bar stool, taking my hand before leading me towards the elevator. Once inside, I press the button for my floor. There's barely enough time for me to step backwards before Ruby pushes me against the wall of the elevator, kissing me again. It's been eons, so many centuries since I've known the pleasure of a woman, to feel the warmth of her body against mine in carnal bliss. I cannot lose sight of the prize, what I've travelled so far to accomplish. Ruby McGettigan is an AOS sigh. That's what she has to remain to me, nothing more. Even more important, I made a promise that must be kept. Yet she stirs something inside me, a longing I've not known in so long. I push her away from me gently as the door chimes for my floor. Ruby wastes no time taking my hand and leading me down the hall to room 222. Relief washes over me. If she had bit me in the elevator, it would have all come crashing down without a cleaner arranged to handle the aftermath. The night manager would have been far from pleased. The door closes quickly behind us quickly. Ruby unfastening the buttons of my shirt while maneuvering us towards the bed. She pushes me backwards, laughing. I was wondering just how long you were going to play me. Ruby asks, her eyes flashing to black as she pins my wrist to the bed with her hands. There's no sense fighting her. I couldn't if I wanted to anyways. She has centuries of power flowing through her veins as one of the first vampires to emerge from the sacred mound. It wasn't a game. I honestly didn't know until just now what you were for certain. And aren't you afraid, even the slightest knowing your death is imminent, Victor? And give you the satisfaction of feasting on my fear? I'd rather enjoy the carnal lust between us for a little while before I give in so easily. Ruby laughs, her eyes flickering between greenish blue and black. Her fangs are formidable, even in the darkened hotel room, as she smiles at me. She leans forward, kissing me, moaning as her lips pull away from mine slightly. It's such a shame you're not like me. What fun we could have had together. Bliss fills me as her fangs penetrate the skin of my shoulder. My eyes close, allowing that feeling of ecstasy to fill me to my core. I can feel the flow of my blood and the gentle suckling of Ruby as she takes as much as she is able. Leaning back as she smiles at me, a coy smile intended to intimidate me, but there's no time remaining for games now. Her hands reach for her throat as Ruby chokes. Not fully understanding what is happening, she gasps for air, clawing at my chest with her right hand. Black trailing lines spread from her heart outwards, travelling quickly across her body. Perhaps it was one of the common denominators that makes the females of the ASOS easier to kill than ASOS easier to kill. Along with their insatiable lust for the blood of other vampires, they also have an insatiable lust for sex. It's far easier to lure one of the females into the kill. The males have proven to be much more difficult across the years. Glodial silver, my dear. It took me nearly a century to develop an immunity. I knew it was the only way I could outlive the lot of you. Such a fabulous little invention of the Victorian era. They did invent the most curious items then. I turn my head, closing my eyes as the internal fire begins and Ruby crumbles to ash. Sitting forward to brush her remains away, I lean across the bed to call the front desk. Night manager speaking, are you ready for the cleaning, Mr. Alexander? I am. Could you please send my suit out to be cleaned as well? Of course, Mr. Alexander. Do you require a human guest to replenish yourself? That is very kind of you. Please send her up in an hour. I'd like a bath first. I remove my suit, laying it across the bed. Ruby's name is one of many little black lives I'm assigned. If it weren't for the occasional invite from the night manager, it would have taken centuries to track them all down. To her, there is an immense amount of gratitude. I smile while drawing a line through the name, Ruby McGettigan. Another one down, 113 to go. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. And next week we'll do Interlude 2 and the second chapter, Act 2. So that's where the story begins. When we got the premise for this, didn't have the invitation, we didn't have anything. All we knew was that we were writing from the point of view of our character arriving at the hotel, and that they were there they didn't know why, but they were there for an event. And we had to fill the gap with our stories from them arriving to the event. So different people chose to mix that in the stories they already had, the characters they already had. I created a new character who I rather fell in love with and will be back at a later date in another series. But for now, I'm going to say thank you and goodbye. See you all next week.